Guys, I'm terribly sorry for the experience that you had. I had to step away for a second. But I will be monitoring the meeting here on out.
Yeah, try to relaunch it and okay, then we'll see what happens. I got her now. Let me see if I can talk to her now.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I see her now, so she's back on.
I'm back in. I'm back in now.
Okay, Ruthie's back. Ruth. Okay, I'll talk to you a little later. Okay, bye-bye.
It appears that our Zoom meeting was taken over by other people. So Troy from the city is here now monitoring it. So hopefully that won't happen again. Also, I know right before we had to cut off that we were discussing the clerk, and I just wanted to make a quick comment. I don't know if all of you were aware, we did get a new city clerk. She's been there actually less time than I've been there. So if you spoke to the previous clerk, which was Felicia, she is no longer there, and the current clerk's name is Verna.
Is who?
Her name's Verna.
Okay. Yeah, I'm aware of her. Okay. Okay. Norma, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, very good.
Yes, we're aware of the new city clerk.
Right.
And the information was given to her.
So, okay. Let's see. Clarence is the only one that's not here. And
my video.
That's okay.
Excuse me, my video is not, it was stopped by the host. So could you start my video?
Same here.
When that lights up, they could hear you.
Okay, the host has to start the video.
Right, right. My video is stopped by the host.
Can you start our video?
Yeah, I'm working on that now. You can bear with me because I'm not at a laptop. It's a little difficult on the phone.
Okay, Roosevelt.
Okay. All I have is, are we waiting on Troy to bring up the video, or can we proceed the way it is now?
We can proceed the way it is. There isn't a requirement to have video on, so long as we have everybody here present that we have here.
Well, everybody's not back online.
Only person missing is Mac Willis is missing.
Okay, yeah. Okay, all right. We can proceed.
we would still have a quorum even with one less
Right.
ZBA.
Okay, now where were we before we left?
I was in the middle of my stating that the information was given to the new city clerk.
Right.
And I guess the new city clerk did not forward it on to you, Ashley, to contact Roosevelt until later. But
so
you know,
not only did she not forward it, when I met with her approximately 2 or 3 weeks ago, she spent some time trying to locate the information, and so I'm not sure what was provided to her or what conversations were had with her. That was the information I had. Is that I was working with her at City Hall trying to find something, and she did not have the information.
Oh, okay, all right. This is where we are right now. It's just like starting all over again with everything. It just so happens we have a case before us. This is two things I want to try and accomplish tonight. One, Ashley, is there any way that we can have a face-to-face meeting? Because there's a lot of things, a lot of protocols are already in place that maybe you were or were not aware of. And I'd like to sit down with you and meet with you and talk to you about that along with Norma McDaniels. Is that possible?
I would be more than happy to meet with anyone. I can tell you right, in regards to this meeting, everything that has been provided and what has been provided at the times is technically in compliance. So nothing is outside of compliance. Required notices that had to go out went out at the correct times. As I said, I understand the review didn't come out, you know, when it would have been nice to have it a little bit sooner. But we are in compliance of what has been given so far. But I'm happy to, you know, meet with whomever to discuss what preferences would be for going forward for meetings.
Yeah, we're going to need that because something came up through Norma McDaniels. You know, normally we receive information prior to, and we have the opportunity to go out and observe, you know, whatever the variances are or whatever the ordinances are. We can go out and observe it ourselves so we have a clearer picture of it. Having received this information less than 24 hours, and only thing we have to go by is the information that you sent to us, which is kind of vague, you know, but in the past, we've always received this information at least a week or week and a half ahead of time. Now, I assume that was in compliance. Less than 24 hours is not enough time for us to review this.
And I do understand that. It's not a compliance issue. It is, though, certainly a preference issue, and I do hear what you're saying. As I mentioned before, was trying to get the review and all of the information out to all of you prior, but I didn't have the information of who even was on the ZBA board. So I had been working to try to locate that and then locate at least one person's contact information, which then gave me sort of the trail of how I could locate everybody else. So I do understand that. And I, you know, started that process after we received the ZBA application. So that is, you know, how long it took to figure out, you know, where everybody was at.
Okay. Can this item be tabled until the next meeting?
So I can, the order that should happen, I can go ahead and give my presentation right now. We can then ask for public comment. If there's something, we'll ask clarification or presentation from the applicant as well. And then at that point, you all can move to make whatever recommendation you would like.
Yeah, somebody's still stepping on you. I can't. It's a lot of jargon. I can't make it out.
Okay, I think maybe Miss McDaniel, I think it could be her audio. It seems whenever she unmutes herself, that's when most of the feedback happens. But what I said prior was the way that we can do this is we've opened the public hearing. I can go ahead and give my presentation. Then we should move to open for public comment. And then we can close the public hearing. You all can have whatever discussion you would like, and then you can vote however you would like. Vote to approve, deny, or table. That would be the recommended order to follow proper procedure.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right, so what was provided, we're here to go over the variance request that was submitted on behalf of Clark Street Investment and Goldwyn Logistics. Let me pull this up really quick. So the address for the property is 2830 Beach Daily. And just a little bit of background about it. It is currently an industrial facility, like I said, along Beach Daily. And as you can see by the aerial photo, it is abutting a residential district. So that address is currently in the M1 Light Industrial District, and it abuts the R1B one family residential district. So the site itself is a little over 3 acres and is currently in use. So the variance request that is happening is based on the separation standards. According to section 155.150 and 155.150CA of the zoning ordinance, that states that there shall be a minimum 300 feet radius measured as the shortest distance, front door to front door, between any structure in residentially zoned districts and marijuana processing and cultivation facilities. So the measurement happens front door to front door. The plan details, I provided a digital copy of the site plan, and in my communication to all of you pointed out, really what you were looking at for this variance request, which is you can see in the north or on the east side of the building where the existing front door is, it's being proposed to move to the very far northeast corner. And if you see on the plan, there is a measurement listed from the front door of the proposed new front door to the front door of the house. The address is listed as 25840 Princeton Street. That currently measures at 275 feet. So that is where the source of the variance request. They're requesting a variance of 25 feet from the required separation standard to have the front door of the facility be 275 feet away from the nearest structure in a residentially zoned district. So in terms of the variance comments, what the applicant is asking for is a dimensional standard variance. So in section 155.275E2 of the zoning ordinance, if there's a practical difficulty, which is what this would be considered, or unnecessary hardship in carrying out the strict letter of this chapter, you as the board may modify any rules, relating to the construction, structural changes or alterations, so that the spirit and the intent of the chapter shall be observed, public safety secured, and substantial justice done. So regarding what are the sort of 5 criteria for determining whether a variance should be approved, we have them listed. The first one is there are unique circumstances that apply to the property. As I wrote, there aren't necessarily unique circumstances associated with this property. It's a one-story residential or one-story industrial building suitable for reuse, consistent with permitted use in the zoning district of M1. The need for the variance that is being requested arises from the applicant's desire to use this facility as a marijuana cultivation and processing facility, which is the only, anything marijuana related for light industrial is the only use that requires that 300-foot buffer. The next category, the variance is consistent with the spirit of the ordinance and is fair to adjacent properties. It's our opinion that the approval of the variance will not defeat the spirit and the intent of the zoning ordinance. The proposed use of the site is a permitted use as a special land use in the M1 zoning district. And the applicant is reoccupying an existing building that is already being utilized as an intense industrial use currently. The applicant's also proposing to move the door of the facility to be as far away from the adjacent R1B zoning district and the structures in that district. Number 3, the need for the variance is not self-created. And as we stated above, they're proposing to reoccupy an existing building. It's already an intense industrial use. The zoning was verified prior to submission of the site plan application. I will also make a comment. I believe somebody asked before we ended the last meeting, has this gone before planning? It was scheduled to go before planning last month. The meeting had to be canceled the day of, but we have conducted site plan and special land use reviews for this application. So it is scheduled to go before planning this month. So the zoning was verified prior to the submission of the site plan application, and it was determined this is a permitted use as a special land use. There is no location for the front door of the facility to be other than what is currently proposed that would make it any farther from the structures in the abutting R1B zoning district. So there is not another location that this door can be put or moved to, and the current door is even, closer. But the structure, the facility itself is not moving. This is really just the front door, but the proposed location is as far away as possible for the building. I also pointed out there are other permitted uses in the M1 district that don't have the 300-foot separation requirement, but to be used as a marijuana processing and cultivation center, which is again a permitted use, there is no way for the existing building as it is to accommodate that 300-foot separation requirement. The variance request, number 4, the variance request is the minimum necessary to remedy the practical difficulty. As I've mentioned a few times, this is the minimum because they are proposing to move the door as far away as possible. It cannot go any other place than where it's currently going, and that sits at 275 feet away. Number 5, strict compliance with the zoning ordinance prevents the applicant from using the property for the purpose permitted in the zoning district. Strict compliance with the zoning ordinance does prevent the applicant from using this property in a way that is permitted. So all of that based on the analysis of the review and everything that we've done so far, we find the proposed changes should not negatively impact the adjacent properties or the character of the block. That speaks a lot to its current use, which admittedly is not marijuana related, but it is intense industrial. So, these houses already are existing next to an operational industrial site. The request is for an unsubstantial numerical difference from the required separation standard. It's 25 feet out of 300 feet. The proposed use is permitted as a special land use in the M1 zoning district and currently operates as an intense industrial use. So we recommend that the ZBA consider the applicant's justifications of practical difficulty and to find whether practical difficulty has been demonstrated and thus a variance is warranted. So if you have any questions for me, I would be happy, myself or Jane, my colleague, we'd be happy to answer any questions. I know that the applicant is also in attendance tonight, so if you have any questions for them, they would probably be happy to answer those as well.
Okay, questions? Anyone? Any member?
I have a question, Chairman. Does it normally come to the, and maybe Mr. Oden can answer this because Mr. Oden has a wealth of knowledge being a member of the, or being a former planning director as well as other positions in the city. Does it normally come to the ZBA before it goes to planning?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
It comes to us for the variance and then it goes to planning because I know Commissioner Ruthie, I think she asked the question, had it been to planning?
I will say that there isn't a requirement for one or the other to happen. We were ready last month, as I said, to go before planning, but because of an unrelated issue, the meeting had to be canceled. So we were prepared to go get our preliminary site plan approval and special land use approval prior to tonight's meeting, but the meeting had to be canceled and rescheduled and public hearing notices properly posted again for the new meetings, which is why we have not been back to planning yet. But there isn't a requirement for ZBA or planning to happen before one another. It's just, you know, how the meetings are scheduled and what the preference is.
I have a question.
Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, this is I'm a member of the public. I have a question. I'm Delphine Oden, and I wanted to know, did the applicant know about the 300-foot situation before he applied to have this facility in the M1 zoning district?
Ashley, can you answer that?
Is that for me? I can't, I don't know if I'm on.
Yeah,
this is
George is the applicant, or
Okay.
one of the, I will say this project has been in the works since late 2018, I believe is when this process started. Some things have changed along the way, and obviously people have changed along the way. So I do know conversations had happened. I can't speak to what the specifics of those were. I can only speak to what, you know, I was present for. And what I was present for, I do know that they were aware of it. There were other plans that had been talked about to address the 300-foot issue, which included extending the building out essentially to put a new door in at the extension. The issue with that is that would require a variance as well, because they currently are right at the line of what the setback requirements are. So either way, we were going to have to come before the ZBA to ask for a variance. And it was the opinion of myself and our planning firm, the senior planners at our planning firm, that this was the correct variance to ask for versus having the applicant intentionally build a door out from the facility, not in compliance with, you know, setback requirements. And now, so that is what I know of. George, if he would like to speak to that question as well, feel free to do so.
Yes, with respect to that, can you guys hear me? I don't see my, okay, so thank you for being here this evening. George Stamos on behalf of Goldwyn. We knew about the setback situation, and we contacted Wayne County, and we got a letter by the Wayne County executive with respect to the setback, that they didn't have a problem with the setback, and that a lot of buildings on this road have different setbacks. This was the way this building was designed, with the 60-foot setback. So Wayne County doesn't have a problem, and the city didn't have a problem. We were going to make a corridor 12 feet wide, and would have benefited us with our whole project, and it would have met the requirements. But in talking with McKenna, they thought, you know what, this is kind of, you already have a setback established. It would probably be easier and better in that we're not really encroaching or infringing, considering the use and where the new door will be, the new 275-foot distant door would be adjacent owner on Princeton Street, the closest resident to us, really wouldn't be much of a burden in terms of causing any issues. So we thought, well, that's fine with us. We can do it either way. But McKenna thought that Ashley and her associate Jane thought there would probably be a better solution to do it that way, in that it's not in the spirit of the 300-foot rule with respect to where we are. The door borders much other industrial stuff. The side of the door would be on a corner of the building, and it borders other industrial. The whole north of us is all industrial buildings. And again, I will say that the setbacks for many buildings, there's a couple of buildings that are close to the sidewalk. We're way off that. We're not even close. That's just the way the building was set up when it was built, to have a 60-foot setback. And I'm not sure when it was built, whenever that date was.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Well, to Mr. Stamos, can you hear me? Is he still there?
I believe George is still there, yes.
Okay. The question I have is this, and I guess we are creatures of habit. In the past, we've actually gone out and physically looked at what we're about to vote on, this variance. And I would like that opportunity. I can't speak for all the members, but I would like that opportunity because I am a visual person. I like to see what we're voting on and understand the different the various in the codes. You know, something we've always done in the past. And the question I have to Mr. Stamos is, would it hurt you as a business to wait another month so that each one of the members, if they chose to do so, could go out and look at this and come back with a clear conscience on what they're voting for? Is he still there?
It looks like he's dropped off.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that was technical difficulties or he left himself.
Okay, let me pose that same question to you, because some questions will come up regarding you say letters went out to all the residents in that area, correct?
That are 300 feet from the site, both to any property owner or to the actual homes themselves is what they got.
You got nothing back?
I did not. I did get one comment back, but not about when we mailed for this public hearing. It was for the site plan application, but nothing for this variance request.
Okay. That's interesting, because a lot of people, when they're dealing with marijuana facilities, they have a lot to say, especially when it's that close to their residential homes. But I'm just one person, and what I'm asking you and Mr. George Stamos is to give me time to go and actually look at the site and come back with a clear conscience as to what I'm voting on. And I don't know if anybody is in agreement with me or in disagreement with me on that, but I'm speaking for myself.
Hey, President Stubbs. President Stubbs.
Yes.
I believe that George also just got back into the meeting, if you'd like to pose that question to him again.
Okay.
President Stubbs.
George, are you there?
Oh no, he's like a mama.
I hear Ruthie.
Yeah, I'd like to ask you a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Hello? Yes. I'm here.
Ruth, you had a question for him, Ruthie?
I got a question in general for the committee.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm saying because this case been going on since 18, is it a way we probably could have a special meeting and come back with them within a week or two instead of waiting another whole month because it's been waiting since 18?
I'm all for it. I just want, personally, I want to go out and take a physical look at what we're discussing. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah. So I can speak to that a little bit. The soonest that we'd even be able to call a special meeting would only be on September 30th. So about 4 weeks from now, because we have to, again, for the public hearing that's required for this variance request, we're required to 15 days prior to the meeting date, 15 days or more prior to the meeting date, we have to post both in the newspaper and do the mailings. So in order to do that and adhere to that requirement, we really couldn't, I mean, at that point, the next meeting that the ZBA meets standard is September 7th. And the soonest that we would, or I'm sorry, October 7th, and the soonest that we would be able to possibly meet to adhere to the public hearing requirements would be the 30th of September anyway.
Okay.
Which I'm not suggesting that you go one way or the other. I'm just trying to provide the like the technical knowledge to help in your decision making.
No, and I understand that. But I guess I just want to hear from everyone else. Because for me, I would rather table this until each member can actually go out and physically look at what we're voting on.
Yeah, Mr. Chair. Yeah, I had the pleasure of going out there today because of today's meeting. I want to actually see what we were voting on, and actually the facility is. It's a gigantic building, and the fencing is so far away from the housing. It's I don't see it affecting anyone. I really don't. Like I say, I have no disagreement on everyone being able to go see the building, but like I say, to me, I think that it's far enough. The fencing is high enough. The fences are like 8 feet. And you can't even see the properties. And the door is, to me, it looks like it's 300 feet. But like I say, they say it's 275 feet. But like I say, I feel it's fair that everyone go look at it. But it's a nice building. It's a big building, and it's on Industrial off of Beach Daily. Like I say, but take a look at it, and I think that you will agree with what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. You know, this is what I've always done in the past, and it was to go and look at it. So I have a clear conscience. So if we could, Mr. Stamos, are you back with us?
I'm all for whatever you guys decide, 100%, and have been for years.
Okay.
And if I will feel better about everybody doing whatever they feel is necessary to get us going here, because we've been so, and we're here to stay to make it a mutually beneficial situation for all of us. I think the board should do whatever they feel in their heart. I'm 100% behind you.
Oh, okay. Well.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I agree with what you're saying. I'd like to go take a look at it. I had a doctor's appointment today, so I wasn't able to go once I received the information. And I just would like to say that in the past, we've also received the information about the letters going out, as well as the information being posted in the newspaper. So that question would not have come up if we had received that information as part of our packet also. So I think we need to go take a look and see for ourselves, and then we'll come back with a clear conscience to vote at the next meeting.
Very good.
Mr. Chair, you can include me. This is Clarence Oden. You can include me in that visit. I would like to see the site as well, being familiar with the process over the past years and see what the site looked like.
Very good.
Going forward, can I ask a question for future reference? Would you like to have the public hearing notice that is sent out both in mailing and in print? Would you like that included as part of the packet?
Yes.
Okay. I can make sure that I do that.
Okay. Any public comment? Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I would like to, it was just comment on something that Ashley was saying. Mm-hmm. It sounded like you were saying that you were going to have to send out, post another public hearing notice and go through all of that again. But really, do you have to do that? Because this is the public hearing, and all the board is sounding like they want to do is to table it for a couple of weeks. And it didn't seem like you'd have to go through that whole process again. It was just that the commission would come back to the meeting and either approve or not approve, but not have to wait till September 30th. It's like they can do it next week. So that's just my question to you. It didn't seem like you'd have to conduct go through that whole process you went to for tonight's meeting.
It is my understanding to be in compliance that it would be required anytime that we're meeting to vote on an action item such as this that requires a public hearing, then a new notice would have to go out. So because we either way, even if it's a vote to table the item tonight, that's still a vote on this case. And if it is tabled, we would have to then make a new vote at some point in the future, whether that's, a month from now or however long, whenever it comes before the ZBA again. And so anytime a vote is happening, it's my understanding that a public hearing would have to happen again to let people have, comment to that vote. And then, so we would go forward with, and frankly, I think it's good practice anyway, just so that people are aware of what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah, well, any other comments from our members, public?
Mr. Chair, I move that we come out of the public hearing.
So move.
Support.
Anybody second it?
Clarence Oden, support.
It has been properly moved and second that we come out of public hearing on this particular variance. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Aye. All opposed, have to say right. Hearing none, motion's carried.
Well,
anything until you.
Okay, we have a Sheila Smith.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to get my other neighbors involved. I just really found out that it was on Zoom. The last meeting y'all had, I actually went down to City Hall. So I went and looked at the address, and I had thought it was farther down. Maybe I might have had it wrong, but I know it's on Zoom, so I did say something to my neighbor about it, and I don't know if they had got to receive the letter or anything, but I'll be listening to it more. I know how to do it now.
Okay, now are you in the area within the
I'm
300?
I'm on North Fork in Beach Daily.
Okay, are you within the 300 feet?
Yes.
Within the residential areas?
Yes.
Well, the way I thought on the address on here, 2830, I thought it was farther than that.
Okay.
We're on the
I'm on the street where the store is on Beach Daily in North Fork.
Oh yeah, no way. Yeah.
Okay. So you live in the area. You're part of the public participation.
Yes, I'm not. I'm the fifth house.
Okay. Well, we kind of just closed out the public participation,
right.
but you just got on. Now, when we do get back on, you'll be able to get on with us and do the public participation and say what you have to say.
I know the process now.
Very good. Appreciate that. I really appreciate you coming on,
right,
and letting us know that you know about the process and that you're concerned about the area and the building there.
Yeah, I'll talk to my neighbors. I have to make sure they get on too.
I appreciate that very.
All right.
Very much. So we can have a good conscience about this.
Thank you.
I have a question. Chairperson. Did the Sheila Smith, did they receive a letter?
They say they did not.
No, we received a letter. We received the first one, and we just received the second one.
But we did.
The first one was the one. That's when I had went down to City Hall because I thought the meeting was at City Hall.
Okay.
But we didn't know that it was on Zoom.
Okay. What was it for? This particular variance?
It was for
something else.
No.
So two meeting notices have gone out for public hearings. One was for the Planning Commission special land use.
Okay.
And the second one was for this variance. So those are the two letters he's referring to.
Okay.
Case number 2118 or 2119.
Okay. But you got both of them. Okay.
Mr. Chair, can I ask another question? Can I ask another question? So the gentleman is saying that the meeting notices, he received a meeting notice, but it didn't indicate that it's on Zoom. Are meeting notices indicating the Zoom information? So how would they know to come on Zoom?
So it does say on the notice that the meeting will be held virtually. That's also the notice that's posted on the city website and on the City Hall's door. So it says that the meeting is held virtually, and it gives a link to the city's website. So that way you can get the correct Zoom information from the city's website.
Okay. Well,
at the time the notices are sent out, we don't have the actual Zoom information, and that's not typically published in the notice itself, but it does say the meeting is virtual, and it gives the address, the web address of cityofinkster.com, which has all of the links to the Zoom.
But see, I keep on looking at this city's websites. So that's how I received the Zoom information.
Okay, very good. Very good. Appreciate that.
All right.
Appreciate that. And I appreciate your participation in this. It's important.
Well, thank you. I'm sorry we late, but we're here now.
Yeah, and I'm glad to hear that. You know, we need the public participation. So, but next time, and there will be a next time, you know, you'll get the information and be prepared for the public participation.
All right, we'll be looking forward to it.
All right, thank you very much for participating tonight.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to table this item until the next meeting.
Motion to table this item until next meeting. Is there a second? Did we lose Ruthie? Motion to.
Oh, I'm still here. I'm still here.
All right, just want to make sure you're still with us. Can I get a second to table?
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor of tabling this? Say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Have the same right. Motion passes. Let's see what else we got on our agenda here. Any old business?
Madam Chair, Mr. Chair, I have a item on old business.
Okay. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Ashley, I know you're new and you probably don't know this, but the members did not receive our stipend from our last meeting. So could you look into that for us, please?
Yes, I can get with the clerk. That's part of the reason that I wanted everybody to resubmit their information to me. So that way I can sit with the clerk and we can get everything sorted out. Make sure everything's up to date and correct. So just so I'm clear, you for the March 14th, when you received your stipend?
That is correct. We did not receive it for the last meeting that we held.
All right, I will let the clerk know. I will be in the office there in Inkster on Monday. So I will let her know on Monday when I'm there.
Okay.
Oh, I guess it would not be Monday because that's a holiday. But next week, I will for sure let her know.
Okay. Any other questions? Any old business? Any new business? No new business? Miscellaneous? Move to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Support.
Support.
It has been properly moved and seconded that we adjourn the meeting for tonight. And the next meeting will be, will it be in October, Ashley, or before?
I will do some work to figure out if we can meet prior, but so I will probably be reaching out to all of you next week. For now, let's assume that the meeting would be that October 7th, the normally scheduled meeting. If I determine that we can meet, you know, significantly sooner than that, then I will reach out to everybody and get your feedback on availability.
Very good. Any other questions? Okay, move to adjourn.
Fine, Chair. I have a question.
Okay.
Who
am I speaking to?
I would like to schedule a meeting with the DDA to kind of establish a workflow for the chair and secretary to kind of assist Ashley a little bit better.
Okay, hold on. Who am I speaking to?
This is Troy Seaton.
Okay, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so just to establish a workflow between those two individuals, just to kind of better choreograph the meetings. We're also doing this with some of the other boards because we're noticing that the city staff are kind of facilitating some of the boards' duties. So we definitely need to establish that and make a clean workflow just to kind of make it easier for the clerk and the various department heads.
Okay, so you're asking this department to meet with the city clerk?
Yes,
okay.
To familiarize yourself with that and establish the workflow.
Okay, I was going to talk to Ashley next week about meeting with her. Well, maybe we'll meet with the city clerk, myself, and Norma McDaniels, if that's okay. She's the secretary.
That's fine with me.
Troy, you still there?
Yes, sounds fine. Great to me.
Okay, all right. Well, I will, Troy, I don't think I have your phone number. But anyway, I'll contact you through Ashley. I got her phone number and her email address. And we can schedule something with myself and Ms. McDaniel where we can all get to know each other a little bit better and figure out what's expected of us as leaders of different departments.
That sounds great. And if you don't mind, I can share my contact information. I'm sure everyone here either has it or will have it soon. For those who are ready, it is 313-316. 5544.
5544. Okay. All righty. I'll put that in my phone so I'll have it. I got your name, Troy Seaton. I got your name. So we'll take it from there. Any other questions to come before this board before we adjourn? Anybody?
I would like to let everybody know I'm only in the city on Mondays and Wednesdays, but I am there all day until City Hall closes Mondays and Wednesdays. So if you'd ever like to stop by, obviously we can schedule meetings ahead of time, but if anyone ever just individually wants to stop by for any reason or concern, you're more than welcome to come in and see me there.
Sure. Well, I'll probably call you first. No, I'll let you know.
That's fine.
Okay, all right. I don't like just popping in. But anyone else has questions? If not, we've already moved to adjourn.
So move.
No, we've already done it. We voted on it. We've already done it. We were. Yeah, everybody kind of piled on during the end, but this is what happens with Zoom. I'll see you all at the next meeting, if not before. You all have a blessed evening, and this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. He said October 7th.
Okay.